Okay, thank you. So next we're moving on to Harriet Tubman. The US has, after like several hundreds of years, got a woman on their currency, on a dollar. So I'd like to actually say that it's not the first time, but in the modern world, since World War I, I think, they have not had a woman on their currency since they started using the dollar like properly. It's always been men, which just makes you think having women in America contributed to the history. So I'm just going to put a little news. I'll share the screen. And meanwhile, just think about women on currencies, and maybe we can also share about our own countries, whether they've had women on their currency. It would be nice to know from the people from around the world. And I'll just give you a little history. So apparently there have been women on currencies around the world. As we know, America is always last in these things where we think they should be first, since they're a first world country. So the number one country in the world to have loads of women on their currency is Australia. And what Australia does is actually really great. And I wish every country could follow suit. They have both a man and a woman on their notes, which is just, this is how you take care of the issue and there'll be no problems. And they've had the most women on their currency. There's New Zealand, there's the UK, which I was surprised. I don't know why in my mind I thought it was always the Queen, but there's been some other women in there. There was a petition, though, I have to say, in 2007, I think, someone correct me, maybe 2013, to get more women, because a long period had gone in the UK with no women on the notes. So they petitioned, they won the petition, and the government said that from now on, they would be looking at having a diversity in their notes. So not just women, but representative of the British society, which I think is good. So people of all colors, men and women, who've made contributions to the UK. So I'll pass it on to you. Can we go around and just tell us, people from all different parts of the world, have you had women on your notes? And what do you think of this news about the US having a Black woman for the first time after several years on their dollar, a very powerful currency? So I'll pass it on to you guys. Yes, Shiro?
In Kenya, and I think in many African countries, they always have a picture of the president, the current president. And like, for example, in Kenya, we had President Kenyatta. After he died, President Moi put his face on all the coins, currency notes, everything. But now they changed, and now instead of they said we won't have any human on any currency, male or female. We have animals. You know, Kenya is known for our beautiful landscapes and animals, wildlife and all. So we have that on our currency, national symbols and our wildlife, which personally I prefer rather than having any human on the currency, because it will always create controversy as to whether that person is deserving or not.
Thanks, Shiro, for that. I didn't know that Kenya had decided not to have humans or rather individuals on their currency. What does everyone else think of that decision? Is that the right way to approach it? Or yes, Yaseena?
Yeah, Imani raised before me, I think. If she wanna talk,
if Imani is responding to Shiro's point, yes,
okay.
she can, and then she can give her point.
Yeah, actually, we have the same in Denmark, and I actually think that's a good thing, because who chooses who's important and deserves to be on paper? That's subjective. We all have different people we look up to should be on it, and then there will be no problem if it's just, not humans. And in Denmark, with ours, we have bridges or something else, but we don't have people anymore on it. And also, I want to talk about that bill, the dollar one. I think it's so good that they have a Black woman, because someone who did contribute to a lot in their history, because many times a lot of Black people are not taught about the people, their people, and what they did to contribute. That'll make you think that maybe Black people may not be intelligent or capable of doing great things. So seeing this shows, you know, we are capable of it. And it's a woman, which is great.
Thank you very much, Imani. Do you want to just quickly tell us about Harriet Tubman, because you said she was an important part of the US history?
I think I read about her once. Something to do, she freed slaves. She helped them or something. I can't remember.
She was a very important part of the civil rights movement. Sorry, a civil activist in America. So it is good that she's there, because like you say, it makes people see the contributions that many people have made in the US, and also for people around the world to know of. Okay, can we have Yaseena, please, just to keep things going?
I think the Kenya's idea is very good, because whenever we see a currency, it should replace the country. So I think placing beautiful landscapes of the country, animals of the country, or the national bird, it will be better. I think that because if there is a woman or men, we have to like again ask someone and know the story about them. If the places are there, means it will represent the whole country. So I think that's the best idea. And it's very good to listen that kind of things.
Thank you, Yaseena. So Yaseena is quite happy with Kenya's decision to
Yes.
show other things about the country, not
Yes.
necessarily individuals who people may not agree on. Okay, yes, thank you, Yaseena. Keshi?
No, I wanted to mention that in Denmark, we don't, like Imani says, we don't have on the notes, but the queen is on the coins. So she is on the currency. On the 10 krona coin, she's on it. Isn't that right, Imani? Yeah. But I wanted to say that in Denmark, we've had women on currency, on notes, and the two women that are recorded are Karen Blixen. I'm sure you people know her. She was a Danish painter and writer. And then another woman who was a painter called Anne Archer. So we've had Danish women on currency. So it's nothing new here in Denmark.
Thank you, Keshi, for telling us Denmark's history on women in their currency. Who else wants to say about their country? And yes, Antonella, and then next is Jamila.
So I'm very happy that we are talking about this topic, actually, because I didn't know. And I'm happy to know that in the US, Biden has decided to change to represent Mrs. Tubman. Harriet, how do you pronounce her surname?
Tubman, but I mean, we're not Americans, but I'm assuming it's Tubman, yeah.
By the way, it's a woman. She gave contributions to the anti-slavery movement, and I mean, it's a little gesture, but the fact that people have money in their hands every day, and people see, it will even help not to forget, and so to empower even more women. About the situation, I had to check actually in internet about Italian currency, and when I grabbed the wallet because I wanted to check what was behind it. In Italy, we have euro. We are part of the eurozone, and but the other face of the euro in every country, it changes. In Italy, we have lots of myths, animals, symbols of the republic. So we also have these things as in Kenya, so that they choose sometimes other symbols. But I checked also about women. Unfortunately, they have never represented them. Only anniversary in the anniversary of the death of, for example, Galileo Galilei, they put it on the. So it would be nice whether also in Italy they would represent some for example, other women like Maria Montessori, she was Italian, she gave a contribution to the schools development. So there are Italian women that worth to be on the other side of the euro, and I hope that they will do it also here.
Thank you, Antonella, for giving us your, Italy's view as well. So Italy is the same as Kenya, a lot of symbols that represent Italy, but you say historically there hasn't been much of women in the
Yes,
currency.
I don't think they did it in the sexist way. They just chose the anniversary of important people that died,
Okay.
but this must be done also for women.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I get your point. So you feel that even when they have a anniversary coin or something, that they should try and include women in them, because there are many Italian women who've made contributions. So thanks for that. Anyone else from another part of the world? Jamila had a comment, and then someone else from another part.
Also after me. Yeah, but I was basically going to say, like, bring up the point of in the UK, I know for a fact if we even tried to have, more diverse people on our money, there would be some form of uproar. I mean, they got angry over Sainsbury's for a Christmas ad. So there's no telling what they'd do if someone of color ended up on a currency. And it's kind of very hypocritical and also offensive. Many Black people who actually have the rights to be there, or people of color who are in the UK, because someone like Winston Churchill, for example, has been on some form of currency at one time, but they would stop someone who was actually a good person from being on a coin just because they are part of the BIPOC community. That's why I wanted to talk about. It's just weird how there's double standards. They can have someone who was not basically a racist and a white supremacist, some people would say, and then you don't want someone who's actually contributed and been good.
Yeah, thanks, Jamila. So hopefully, since the UK government said they've taken all that criticism in, and that they'll try and have a diverse, diversity in the notes. So we shall watch and see. That's all we can do. We're going to wait and see. And if nothing happens, then we'll just have to put in another campaign, like the ones who put in the campaign to have more women on notes. I'm going to go to Shamsa, Sarah, and then Keshi had a point as well. So Shamsa, please.
It's very good gesture to recognize someone's effort which contributed for the civil rights or human rights, or it's very good. In my opinion, it will make dollar more expensive when it will show the picture of a lady. So it's very good and very pleasant. And if I talk about Pakistan, so it was created in 1947 by the founder Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So till from 1947 to 2021, the picture of the founder of Pakistan, Qaeda Muhammad Ali Jinnah, is still there, and it didn't change. And for me, it's very good to put someone picture who put all his life and effort for a specific cause.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shamsa. So Shamsa's view is she feels people who made a big contribution to the development or to the country should be on the notes, and she's quite happy with that. It's good. Yeah, we said we have different opinions. So thanks for sharing yours, Shamsa. Next was Sarah.
I wanted to share the change that Switzerland did, that I don't know if you know it, but they used to have men in notes, and they decide to change the view of only men and everything to explain their humanitarian tradition of Switzerland in notes. So like 3 years ago, they changed all notes for ones with a lot of colors, and they have a hand just like this, have it taking something about nature, and they have the word specimen. in it, and it's only like landscapes and things about Switzerland. So they used the notes to show the humanitarian tradition of Switzerland. So I think they did a good change because they had a lot of polemics in the elders. So they say, okay, we can use this to share our tradition. So they did that, and I think it's a good thing.
Thank you for that, Sarah. I did not know that is it Switzerland?
Yeah, in
Yes, I
Switzerland.
didn't know that. I actually didn't know that they'd done that. So they decided to focus on their common values, the values of
Yeah.
the country and what's important to them. And that's what they focused on the note. So thank you for that. Just quickly, how about Spain? Has Spain had women on their currency? Do you know?
No, we have the euro, and I think we don't
How
have
about on the
people.
back? Not people.
I don't think so,
Okay.
because we have so many euros about every Europe. So I'm not sure if all the Spanish don't have people, but I think they don't have even the coins.
Okay.
They have an instrument.
What is meant for notes of the currency? Okay. Yeah, just guys, when we talk about notes, we just mean the paper money, not the coins. So the paper money, those are referred to as notes. Yeah, what Maggie is holding there, that's a note. So currency can be either coins or notes. So just to clarify. Apparently we have a few.
Sorry, is this a Spanish note? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's an old Spanish.
Yeah, but it's really old.
Oh,
We
so not the
changed.
euro.
These ones are called
No.
pesetas.
Yeah.
It's the one before euro. So yes, this was really with Franco, you know, the dictator and everything. So they really changed everything. And
Yeah.
right now I was checking, and yeah, we only have landscapes, like monuments, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, Sarah. Okay, Keshi, I'm gonna come to you after Catherine because Catherine hasn't
Yeah,
said
no, it's just
anything. Yeah.
just on the euro. The euro doesn't. Then the notes don't have any people on them. They're focusing on historic buildings all through the different epochs of the of our European history, and they're focusing on gates, bridges, and windows, which I find quite nice because it's the bridges that connect us. It's are the gates that we open to let people in, and it's the windows where we look out into the world. So it's quite symbolic, and I have to say I quite like that. And we don't get into discussions who should be on who shouldn't be on our money.
Thank you, Catherine. So the Euro or the Europeans have decided they're going to focus on common values and symbols, things that symbolize the values of Europe, which is great. Then there's no fight with the 20 whatever countries that are in the EU over who's going to be on the notes. That's perfect. One more point from Keshi, and then are we done, Mila? Are we in a... Who are the three participants who raised their hand? I've just got a message there. So Keshi, who else had put their hand up, just to wrap up quickly? Okay, I think it's just Keshi, and then we can...
Actually, I also raised my hand. I wanted to say something very quickly, if there is time.
Okay, Keshi, quickly, and then Antonella, please.
Okay, just to point out that Denmark is not part of the euro money, whatever. We have our own currency.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to mention is that Harriet Tubman, an ex-slave, replaced Andrew Jackson, a slave owner, on the currency, on American currency. So it's like rebuking their history, that terrible part of their history, as many people noted.
Yeah, thank you, Keshi. And that's why, back to Jamila's point, that there's nothing wrong with showing that, yes, this person contributed, but they also got involved in some things that were not just, and then put in someone that symbolizes your change in thinking. There's nothing wrong with that, and the UK should also do that. Yes, Antonella, and then we'll finish with this and pass over to Keshi.
Yeah, I just wanted to say very quickly that to clarify, it's true that on the coins of euro, there are mostly monuments and pieces of art, but in some case they have put the individuals in occasion of anniversary of bicentenary of the deaths of important people that, for example, Galileo Galilei, who gave contributions to the science, to the world of science. So in those cases, they should also put, as we said before, also in the anniversary of important women from Europe, from everything, from every part that gave contributions. So
Yeah,
it's also deserving women.
true. That's correct. I think we all agree on that. And that's why we're so happy with this news of America. And hopefully all other countries that like to look up to America who haven't done this will follow suit. I don't know, Huda, how about in your home country? Have there
Iraqi
been...
notes, we
Yeah.
have I think two of the notes has men on it, and the others it has like samples of the country. It's not like a human beings.
And have you ever had any women on the note?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Maybe one day, hopefully. So thank you guys for participating in this. Thanks, Huda. It's just nice to know because we're all so diverse. So it's good to know what's going on in Iraq, in Kenya, in... Yes, Sarah? Yes, quickly. Oh, God, don't. It's not my fault.
Super fast. The one that Jamila showed,
Yeah.
it's the old money from Spain, the
Yeah.
pesetas, and they had women in there.
That's good. So
I just wanted to say
Spain was in the right frame of mind, but now they're under European values, which is also good. Windows, gates, and bridges. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to pass you on to Keshi for the next part.
Yeah, so the next part is the vaccine wars. I'm sure every one of you has, in some form or the other, read or watched TV and seen what's going on with the vaccines. But an interesting story broke out last week, and Shiro posted it on our WhatsApp, which was interesting because it's from the South African, and South Africans talking about how AstraZeneca, which is the Oxford vaccine, was planning, or rather they are charging South Africa more than they are charging Europe. And this information became known to people because the Belgian budget secretary, she posted something on Twitter about how much they were paying to every country, or not country, company that was providing vaccines to Belgium. And that's how people came to know about this scandal. And according to her tweet, they were going to pay $2.16 US, that is 32.73 South African rand per dose for the AstraZeneca vaccine. But then South Africans revealed that they were being charged, they were going to be charged $5.25, and that is 71.56 rand. This created a scandal in South Africa, and the explanation being given is that EU countries are getting a lower price because they have invested with money in the research and development of the vaccine, hence the discount. But then we have a South African saying, I am a participant in the trial in South Africa for AstraZeneca. I would like to understand why you've decided that to charge us more than double the price of the European countries. Are our lives or the results of the trial not as valuable as participants and peoples of other continents? What do you say? Is it fair that South Africans participated in the trials to have this drug approved and they are being charged double? Also, because I think something mentioned about their variation. What do you say? The discussion is open. Yes, Shiro, then Shiko.
I just wanted to add also that it's not just South Africa. Last week they said that Kenyans will pay $7 per dose. That's even more than South Africa. And Kenyans also participated in the trials, the AstraZeneca vaccine trials. So for me, it doesn't make sense. Why should they exploit poor countries who actually had volunteers for the trials.
Thank you, Shiro. How about Ishiko?
I wanted to say that comment or response from, I don't know, who gave the response about financial investment?
It was a comment given from the EU.
Yeah, so that comment and response is actually a slap in the face to African countries, because what you're saying is that financial investment is more valuable than human life as an investment. People in Kenya, in South Africa, participated in trials, so they did invest in the development on this drug by being participants in the trial. So for you to say, no, well, we gave a financial investment, is a slap in the face in all the people who gave their lives for the trial to be tested. It's disgusting, and I have no words. And also to charge double to countries, you know, that are actually developing, so they're not economically as stable and as well off as the European and Western counterparts. I have no words. I think it's just crazy.
Yeah, they do well to remember that these drugs would not be rolled out were it for the testing, the trials they did in these specific countries to study the drug and see if it's effective or not. Yes, Jamila?
I just wanted to make the comment of, it kind of reminds me of the other discussion that we had a few weeks ago about if the vaccine was given out for the highest bidder, basically. And that's basically what they're doing. They're saying, well, they paid for it, even though a lot of Africans paid with like them trialing it on their actual selves, them as actual people, human beings, which I think is way more valuable than money. And it contributed to the fact that the vaccine is now able to be used on people. So they shouldn't be sitting there saying, oh, they gave some money towards it, because it just sounds like they're going to try and do that now with just people. If someone pays more money for the vaccine, they'll be able to get it, which is just unfair.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sarah?
It's Sarah, then Shamsa, please.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think that's not fair, because everybody was participating in these trials, you know, and I don't know why we make something that we have to be really together. Everybody's making a war. I don't know why. That makes me feel so angry, you know. We can be together and put the same conditions to everyone to make it easier, and we are doing it really difficult, you know. And an average to a vaccine, it's between 5 and 10 years, you know, and we have a vaccine in 1 year. So these people, the people that were in the trial, really gave their lives, you know, because they have to try the maximum dose and the minimum. So the maximum, it can be that, you know, and it's just in 1 year, and it's not fair that they are giving their lives and now they have this vaccine like super expensive. That's ridiculous.
Thank you. Antonella? Oh, Shamsa, sorry. Then Antonella.
Thank you. So my point of view on this, it's very, you know, very it's brutality. You know, it's not the matter of one state or one person. It's global pandemic, and all human, you know, are you know, affected by this. So this COVID-19 is spreading rapidly across borders, and the further vaccine may not provide lasting immunity potentially. So, you know, South Africa and India, they propose that governments, all governments, we are not talking about, they should, you know, waive some aspects of global IP rules to enable large scale manufacturing and make vaccine affordable for all. The human rights organization states that. So, you know, WHO and all governments, they should focus globally, not only for their countries, so that the poor countries, underdeveloping countries, or developing countries, people can get the vaccine. Because if it will, you can get immunity, you don't know you when, till then you can get immunity, it's for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years vaccine, how much the period vaccine will work. So the people, the government should, collectively, not they should consider their nation, and they should forget the poor countries and the people who are very vulnerable, and they can't afford the government, they can't afford the vaccine, that and they should, reduce the pharmacy councils, and all bodies should work together. At this moment we are in war, we are not in normal situation, so they should collectively. Thank you.
Thank you. And Antonella?
Thank you, Kashi. Yeah, in this period, it's even worse than a war because we are fighting a pandemic, so an invisible war. And it may sound obvious, but of course, it's a period in which we are fighting a global issue, in which every country is running for a vaccine. The problem is that only few have received the approval from the OMS, the global organization of health, that has a different acronym. So the global, by the way, in order to do a vaccine, they must be approved, and AstraZeneca was one of the few. So I understand that every country wants as many vials as possible, but it is not legal that they ask more money for another country. So they must ask the same amount of money. It is unfair, and I'm happy that people have protested because it is not fair. By the way, talking about the vaccine, I want to share a happy news because I today was watching the TV news, and they said that in India they are recovering very fast, and they also developed a vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Antonella. Another question I would like to ask you, with this vaccine there's been a question of delivery, and European countries saying that the number they ordered is not being delivered, and some are threatening. Italy threatened to sue Pfizer. Germany threatening to sue AstraZeneca. This vaccine wars as they are. Do you think it's fair for the EU to say that no vaccines should leave Europe until all their population is vaccinated? Because that's now what they want to do, that the vaccine should not be sent to other parts of the world. The one that is produced in the EU should not leave the EU until all the residents of the EU are vaccinated. What do you think? You can say yes or no. Ciiku?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I think it's a bit short-sighted because we've seen that there's a lot of variants coming up. So if you just think that we just need to vaccinate our people and we're fine, and not think of it as a global issue, that's already an issue in itself. Because if we don't approach this globally, there will still be that issue of variants being brought in and blah, blah, blah. I'm not an expert in vaccines. I just think it's a thing we need to approach as collectively, instead of just thinking of ourselves, because this is not just geographically limited to one place.
Thank you. Actually, the World Health Organization, the leader, I can't remember his name, he said that people should be careful not to go into vaccine nationalism, where you think only your nation or your region is important, more important than others. But the question, what do you think? You can say yes or no. Should the EU be able to control so that vaccines do not leave the EU until everyone in EU is vaccinated? You can say yes or no. Yes, Maggie?
Maybe to add, instead of saying yes or no, okay, they can do what they want to do, but I know us in Africa, we will invent ours. If they refuse with theirs, we'll make ours.
Thank you. Anyone
Shamsa
else?
has something.
Shamsa, and then Catherine.
To comment on it's very selfish to say that the European Union is the priority. As I said earlier, it's not the matter of Europe. It's the matter of the whole world. You can't close your borders for the immigrants. If you are taking immigrants from your country for the tour purpose or for business purpose or you are getting their things, you can't generate your own things, and you are exporting things from the other countries like Africa, from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, and everything. If you are exporting things, you will accept their people. It's a very broad topic, and you can't say no to them. If you are getting their people within your country, you can't close your border for them. So you can't say you should prioritize your country or Europe first, because it will not resolve the issue. So you should think globally.
Thank you. Catherine?
On the European Union issue, I think it's too complex to say yes or no, because there is a lot of there are a lot of issues that have happened, and why they said they didn't say they're not going to send out anymore. They said that we want to control, we want to know where they're going, because they felt that AstraZeneca diverted their share of the vaccine somewhere else. But I think the issue is more, I think we all agree that the whole world has to be vaccinated. That's why the World Health Organization has created that COVAX program. And I think the whole world, we will have enough and the whole world will be vaccinated. It just, at the moment, is the question how quickly. And that's where all this nationalism comes in, because everyone wants to open their economies. I think it's the sad thing is that we had a year time. We knew we were getting the vaccines and we need them, rather than talking about how we distribute the manufactured vaccines. It's about looking into how can we create production facilities in all countries across the world so they can produce their own, because we won't produce everything in Europe. It's impossible, but it's about sharing technologies, it's sharing knowledge so that everyone can start producing their vaccines.
Thank you, Catherine. Imani and then Ciiku.
I don't blame, in a way, I don't blame them completely for thinking that way, because Catherine made a point about the economy, that for whole country's economy to be, try to be better, they all have to get vaccinated. But I also think it's very selfish of a mindset to have that way of thinking. I think if they maybe said, we're not going to give any vaccines to other countries outside EU unless all ours that are at risk or at the front lines have been vaccinated, then I understand that, because I get why you prioritize those things.
Imani, I'd like to tell you that Denmark has ordered 23 million vaccines for 5 million people.
Wow.
Think about that. When we are talking about the EU planning, it's planning that to require any corona vaccine produced in its territory to seek its approval before export. And we have countries ordering, holding, actually, that's holding. So ask yourself if it's fair. Thank you.
That's not nice. I didn't know that, because that means other people putting down on the list, while these rich countries, EU countries, are prioritized as the most important, and they have extra in the layer. It's wow. Okay.
Thank you. Ciiku, and then Jamila and Shiro.
I just wanted to say what Catherine said was, it's a good approach, make sure that other parts of the world have these production facilities and they're actually given whatever they need to produce these drugs. Unfortunately, when it comes to a drug created by a for-profit company, they're not going to want to do that. They want to be able to control that their you know, where the production is, so that it is just them. And also if there's drugs everywhere, then the value of the drug might even go down. But if it looks like there's less drugs, then it pushes the value of the drug higher. But anyway, that's another story. I just wanted to say, if the production facilities, if it was flipped, and let's say China was the only one producing this drug, or Russia, or South Africa, or maybe India, the narrative would be different. The debate would be different. You know, the rest of the Western world would be pointing a finger and saying, you can't just produce this for yourselves. You need to open it up. You can't just say it's only China who get the vaccine first. This is a global issue. This is humanitarian. And that's why I have an issue with Europe just saying it's just us. Because if this was another part of the world that had the control of the production and said, we're gonna sort ourselves out first, there would be an outcry from these Western countries. So I think we just need to, it's hard in this day and world to think, to be united in approaching this, but that's the way it needs to be. It's a global pandemic, and that's what we keep saying. If you
Thank
just
you. Time up.
vaccinate, you know. Yeah, okay, whoever was
Time
next.
up. So Jamila and Shiro, in 1 minute, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to say I don't agree with that hoarding of the vaccine, especially when there's been other countries that have contributed to you actually creating it in the first place. It's kind of unfair for them, because what do they get out of it if they've done all that? It's just unfair, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you. Shiro?
We talked about President Museveni just the other day, and Margaret talked about Africa developing their own drug. Actually, Uganda scientists are working on their own drug, and they are starting clinical trials. And what Museveni said, as much as we may not like him, he said, Africans, we should not wait for the West to give us a drug. Why should we wait? We have our own scientists. Let's also work on our own drug. And that's what Uganda is doing, and I wish other countries would do the same.
Thank you. Yes, if production is being done around the world so that there are no people with monopoly, this vaccine wars will not be there. Thank you very much. It was an interesting discussion on vaccines, on Harriet Tubman, on the case in India, as well as the sexist ad. Thank you for spending your time with us this afternoon. It was interesting to hear a diversity of opinions, and we'll do that next time again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so guys, don't forget, watch the video for at least 4 minutes, even though you've been part of the session. Just watch it for at least 4 minutes.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, sorry, like, that's what you mean. Oh, like, Jamila
share,
is doing
and
it.
subscribe.
So like, share, and subscribe. For it to count as a view, watch for 4 minutes, share to your friends, and just let's try and get the social media going as well. Thanks for your time. We are going to 6 o'clock, so we need to release you guys. Goodbye. And
bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.